percentage chance of BJP for being a majority party, being over 112?
Based on information so far, I would say they have a very good chance of crossing majority. And as you said, towards the end, for some reason, for which I look forward to reading your paper, because I can't see any statistical reason, the party that leads in the beginning tends to do slightly better towards the end.
Yes.
And BJP has reached that zone where just those few seats would make all the difference. Last
time they got the leading party, the Congress, got a 20-seat flip towards the end.
Yeah, so as
the more and more votes rounds were counted.
I have lots of nasty non-statistical reasoning for that, but I would look forward to statistical reasoning for that.
You are always
but as things get clearer and you're seeing that the others are losing out, so the accretion of votes stands to reason that it'll go with, if you're leading initially, you're bound to pick up more votes because the others are anyway losing out, and the election is very, it's clear that either you're voting for the BJP or the Congress or the JDS. So in this case, if it's showing this is the results, it's evident that the BJP is going to be very, very close, if not above the majority mark.
I just noticed one fact, that JDS has slightly come down, but Congress is also going down and BJP is still increasing.
Yes, that is that last bit, Philip, for the leading party.
So that makes it's if that is the trend, which means BJP is also gaining at the cost of JDS, which clearly shows that they are going to cross 112 very easily.
So then this, Prannoy, I mean, there are two scenarios here. Sorry,
but YSR strategy seems to be not working then. That day we thought that Siddaramaiah is actually following the YSR strategy in the rural areas, and therefore he may benefit by all the schemes that he announced for the poor, for the farmers, and so on and so forth. So that YSR strategy apparently has not worked, which means brings us back to the factor of gratitude, whether people
It also means there was a sense of disquiet, which was papered over by a lot of observers. It also shows that the inherent divisions within the Congress party, and don't forget, I mean, the image of Bengaluru spewing toxic foam on week after week, I mean, these images do catch up, and the fact that for 5 years the government of Karnataka, led by the Siddaramaiah, could do nothing about these things. It showed that you may be delivering in rural areas with the Anashri and Bhagyashri, but largely your concern was not there. For the first time, large IT global players did not have stopped looking at Bengaluru as the hub, which is to the advantage of Hyderabad and Chennai. So these things have also been there. It's only the last 6 months that Siddaramaiah actually woke up and went on a rampage in campaigning. For a long time, there was a sense of disquiet.
Just one second, we are looking ahead. We are looking ahead
When we were traveling in Karnataka, all of us journalists, we all picked up on the fact that there was no anti-incumbency. We thought there was no anti-incumbency. There was a 72% approval rating for Siddaramaiah, even in the CSDS poll. So we thought this was a waveless election. It was going to be, it was not going to go either way. But clearly there is anti-incumbency. Yes. And I would say the level of anti-incumbency is such that I could really well see the BJP certainly going across the halfway mark. I mean, 100 I think is a psychological mark.
Is it anti-incumbency or a positive vote for Modi?
Well, that's the other way of looking at it. I think, I think to my mind, because I was there pre-Modi and post-Modi, Modi made a big difference, at least to the cadres, at least to the kind of narrative, at least to the energy. So I think this is really his victory in many ways. I don't think we can take away from the fact that Mr. Modi has now breached the Vindhyas on his own.
And by the way, yes, very significant from that point of view. And Shekhar, you probably also met when we were going around. A lot of people were saying, I'll vote Congress in this election, but I'll vote BJP in the Lok Sabha election.
I think it was quite evident that Mr. Modi's own popularity is not dented. And the second, among the younger voters, he almost has a sweep. First-time voters next year are going to be his big strength, because it was very interesting. In fact, we have recorded videos of these young students who are saying, Swachh Bharat ho gaya, Digital India ho gaya, and corruption has been destroyed. So obviously they've got only one message and they believe it. So next year is going to be very different.
Why next year? Then he can call for early election.
That's up to him. But
I think we're looking
Mr.
at the rise of...
What do you feel? Because celebration already begun in the BJP office.
By the way, if you look at the southern belt, it is the BJP, not the JDS, that is leading. And what he pointed out 2 minutes
That's
ago.
a shocker.
Yeah, the JDS has now started losing seats. It had gone to 43, they're now down to 39 on the AC Nielsen figures.
That's what you just mentioned.
Yeah. So on the AC Nielsen figures, they're down. There are only 15 seats to come. So I think the BJP may not get 112, they may end up with 109, but I don't think the others are going to be able to form a government.
I think I agree with Baj. I think this is heading to where
You
the
agree
BJP
with
was.
Baj?
Actually agree because he's sitting because he's sitting next to me. I think the BJP is heading to close to where it was in 2008, where it got 110 under Mr. Yediyurappa. So let's remember, this is not the first time the BJP is forming a government in Karnataka.
But its vote percentage was less than the Congress.
Its vote percentage was slightly less. That's the spread versus the concentration. And at that time, the BJP actually had to do what was called Operation Lotus to pad up its numbers to ensure that it's not at the risk of being unstable. So whether it actually hits 112, I'm not sure, but I think they're getting close to that 2008 figure.
I think we had said in the battlegrounds that the BJP requires a 2 or 3% swing, with the Congress being the same to get a majority. The odds are the Congress could have slipped a little by 1% or so.
Right.
In that case, the BJP gets 3%, 2.5%, 3%, it takes it over the majority. That's after adding Mr. Yediyurappa and BSR Congress. So they only required a 2 or 3% swing. If they've been able to generate that, either by JDS taking some votes off the Congress or by their own, they've been able to narrow the difference. You said equal parity, BJP gets a majority because of their concentration of votes. So I think they probably succeeded in doing that.
Right. So
I think we need to guard against over-interpretation, as the seat results settle in. And then it begins to appear that the winner did everything right and the loser got everything wrong.
right.
It
is as he was saying, a 2-3% swing. It's not like
it's exactly that. It's 2-3, and that too in crucial regions. So that's what we are interested in Karnataka. This looks like such an important election, not because something very dramatic is happening in Karnataka, but because it comes in an electoral cycle where we happen to have exaggerated interest in what's happening there.
Would you agree with
the
the following
from the 2019
That's
general
right, that's
elections?
right, yeah.
Would you agree with the following statement, and then I'll ask you a follow-up. Now there is a 75% chance that the BJP will form a majority on its own, and a 25% chance it will hit 120.
You have a statistical model with you, but I agree on the information that we have so far. And if I look at what's being reported from other sources, which should be quite reliable at this stage. So yes, it does look that there is a very good chance of BJP crossing 112 on its own. Something like 120, or I would say 130, would be that psychological barrier where you would say, well, Mr. Modi's influence is carrying across the country. There touching 110 is something that doesn't necessarily prove Mr. Modi's great effect, because breaching of Vindhyas actually took place in 1991. That's the first time BJP actually managed to do remarkably well in Karnataka.
Yeah, but it has not ever formed a government.
Then they formed government in 2008.
But that was Yediyurappa's sympathy wave. That was
they did form a government on their own.
Yeah, but that was a sympathy wave because Kumaraswamy had not allowed him to become chief minister because he'd been chief minister only for a week, and Kumaraswamy had withdrawn support in 2008. Remember, in 2007, Yediyurappa was chief minister only for a week.
A rare thing is happening today. Dora wants to say something, and none of you are allowing him to.
No, it's a rare hypothesis that it is to the BJP's interest not to get a majority, because if it doesn't get a majority, it can tie up Yediyurappa, tie up Kumaraswamy. If it gets a majority, where does Kumaraswamy go?
Excuse me, are you a Parsi or?
Yes, I am.
No, but are they going to sacrifice?
If the BJP gets a majority, where does Kumaraswamy go in 2019?
No.
No, but are they going to sacrifice Yediyurappa? They'll have to offer chief ministership to Kumaraswamy for him to come on board.
No, they get a majority of their own. They don't require Kumaraswamy.
Okay, one second. We've got Mr. Veerappa Moily live with us. Mr. Moily, sir, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
What is your current assessment of what's happening? Are you worried?
Not at present, let us wait till 11:30, then the picture will be more clear. But up to 9:30 it was only the poster ballot which was giving the lead, and it is since half an hour then the picture is coming clear. So I don't think at this point of time we can clearly say which is going to make the magic figure of 112. I think it is too early to, say that.
But are you close to conceding defeat, sir?
No, it is too early. I think we'll have to wait up 11:30. Then the picture will be clear. I think within half an hour of actual counting, I don't think any party can conclude that they are going to get majority or they will reach at the magic figure of 112. It's too early.
But most of the figures we are reporting now are actual rounds counting, very little postal ballots, about 5%.
No, this
and the BJP is over 100.
Only, half an hour for. No, that is only including the ballot paper, and moreover, it is not a certain figure. It's a very fragile figure, and is going down and going up. And sometimes when the Congress leads in some constituency, and sometimes the BJP leads. I think it has not settled down yet. I think it is only at after 11:30 we will be in a position to say which way.
So if we come back to you, will you come back to us in at 11:30, sir?
Okay, I can come back.
Okay,
no
thank you, because it's a bit unfair. Yes, let's wait till the picture is clear. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I agree with him that it's a fragile figure, going up and down, up for the BJP, down for the Congress.
Okay, one question I wanted to ask you, Yogendra. Assume the BJP is going to become a majority here, form the government. It's a big boost to the BJP. And I'd like to ask all of you, one after Yogendra, is this an indicator, or will this be a drive for the BJP to hold early elections in December rather than wait till April? Because in April, the momentum of this may go because of Rajasthan and some setbacks in those states. Is this the time to come bring it ahead 3-4 months?
There is a reality and there is a perception. In real terms, if you look at Karnataka, BJP getting 110 is not necessarily a ringing endorsement for Mr. Modi. We are not looking at days like Maharashtra election, like Haryana election, like UP election, where Mr. Modi's say-so was enough and the whole state was floored. But if BJP does manage to cross 112, which it seems they would, then the sheer capacity of the BJP to create that echo chamber all over the country, jeet gaye, aa gaye, cha gaye, that's great. And with, I'm afraid, a large section of media acting as their spokesperson, that capacity gets enhanced. So yes, the BJP would like to create that impression. And my sense for quite some time has been that Mr. Modi may not risk Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh elections. Rajasthan, they've lost for sure. Madhya Pradesh, they are on the way to losing. So why would a Prime Minister wish to lose 2 elections and then go into general election? It makes sense from his strategic point. We know he's a risk taker. We know in that sense he's bold. My own sense is, irrespective of the results, this won't probably fool him. He knows that his overall popularity is going down, that a certain fatigue factor has set in, and he would like to hold elections before that fatigue actually begins to translate into support for Congress. Karnataka election results, if they go the way we see they are, that would definitely be a setback for the Congress. Fatigue with Mr. Modi, to my mind, continues to be an overall national trend, but Congress is not a beneficiary of that. And Mr. Modi would wish to catch it in this interregnum and hold a general election. That's been my sense for quite some time.
So you feel general elections in December, probability has gone up?
That's my sense. Also,
but there is that huge superstition that Mr. Vajpayee called it ahead of time and lost. And that hangs over everybody's head.
I don't know these things. Indira Gandhi held it and she won in a big way.
Among the BJP, they remember that and they say never call an election advance. The people of India feel that you're, I mean, it may be irrational, maybe rational, but will that prevent them? But you're saying logically they should bring it to December?
I'm not the best reader of Mr. Modi's mind.
That's all I'm asking you to do, small thing. Yeah.
But
you're saying logically and rationally he should bring it to December?
Someone who knows that that kind of charisma, that kind of hold that he had over population is beginning to come down. Someone who knows that in economy he hasn't performed very well. that this particular year doesn't look like a great year in terms of economy, with petrol prices beginning to go up, with agriculture prices not holding. So any delay would mean greater exposure, which I think a leader like him may not wish to
losing Rajasthan would have an impact 4 months
Rajasthan,
later.
he's almost quite clearly lost.
So
And
if you
Rajasthan
just had that
government
on
has
its
stopped
own-
making any efforts to try and win.
So if you had that on its own, it would have an impact on the general
That's
election
right.
4
So
months
why
later.
would he wish to
Why
go?
risk
That's
that?
a simple question. And Mr. Modi, unlike Mr. Manmohan Singh, is a risk taker. So my sense is that
so is
he
Amit
would,
Shah. These are
that's right. So these are risk takers. So my sense is that it would strengthen them. There would be a lot of
So I hope you're
propaganda,
not
and I
busy in
think they may
December.
not take their own propaganda too seriously.
He has to look at his
Now he's
calendar.
telling me.
He was going on holiday in December, now you've ruined it. But that's a very interesting what you're saying, that the probability of a early 3-4 month early general election in December the chances has increased.
Yes, he would also look closely at the other by-elections that are coming. What would worry him more than anything else is the SP-BSP tie-up,
Yeah.
which has the potential of changing the overall equation.